Listen to me. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your habits. And until you understand that, you will keep waiting for success when you were supposed to build it. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another excuse. What you need is the courage to face yourself and say, I'm not disciplined enough yet, but I will be, because let me tell you something the world won't. Your habits are either constructing your destiny or slowly destroying it. And nobody's coming to save you from what you're repeatedly doing in secret. So yes, you must force yourself, not because it's easy, but because the version of you that God has called and created does not live in your comfort zone. He or she lives on the other side of discipline, on the other side of choices made daily with intention. Let's break this down. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Because if you only move when it's easy, you'll never move when it counts. Discipline was never supposed to feel good at first. It was supposed to form you. It was supposed to bend your will, break your comfort, and build your future. The truth is, feelings are liars when they're not aligned with your purpose. They whisper comfort when your calling demands pressure. They tell you to rest when your future is begging you to rise. Discipline is not about being in the mood. It's about being in alignment with who you're becoming. Most people don't lose because they're weak. They lose because they keep waiting for the right moment. But the right moment never comes. The world doesn't pause until you're in the mood to succeed. The clock doesn't stop because you're tired. Life doesn't care that you don't feel like it today. The world belongs to those who keep showing up, bruised, burdened, and battling, but still showing up. If you want to build a new life, start by telling your feelings they're not the boss. You are. Your destiny is not created by what you feel. It's created by what you do despite what you feel. You won't always feel like waking up early, eating right, staying focused, reading, praying, or studying, but do it anyway. Because every time you choose obedience over emotions, you train your soul for greatness. You tell your mind, we don't quit just because we're tired. You tell your future, I'm coming, even if I have to crawl there. Let me give you an example. There was a young woman who wanted to become a doctor. Brilliant, full of potential, but every morning she hit the snooze button. She told herself she'd study later, she'd prepare next week, she'd focus when life got easier, but later kept turning into never. One day, after failing a critical exam, she realized something. Her dreams weren't dying because she wasn't smart, they were dying because she wasn't disciplined. So she made a decision not to feel motivated, but to become consistent. She started waking up at 5 a.m. even when she didn't want to. She studied every day, even when her friends were out. She forced herself, tears, doubts, exhaustion, and all, until discipline became her nature. And years later, when she finally walked across the stage as a doctor, no one clapped for her feelings. They clapped for her decision. That's what it means to force yourself. That's what it means to lead your life instead of following your emotions. So today, choose discipline, not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because everything you say you want is waiting for you on the other side of doing what you don't feel like doing. Every time you choose to act when you want to quit, you put one more brick into the foundation of your future. Keep building, keep pushing. You're not just doing hard things, you're becoming someone powerful. You say you want to change, but your habits tell the truth. Your actions speak louder than your intentions ever will. You can speak about vision all day long. You can write down goals, pray for elevation, dream of wealth and greatness. But if your daily behavior contradicts that, your belief is hollow. What you do reveals what you really believe. If you believe that time is sacred, you won't waste it. If you believe that your health matters, you won't poison your body with what's easy. If you believe in your purpose, you'll protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. So many people lie to themselves and they don't even know it. They say, I'm going to be successful, while scrolling for hours, avoiding the work that builds the future. They say, I want to be disciplined, but they don't even control their mornings. They say, I want to be great, but they say yes to every distraction that pulls them away from their growth. The truth is, your habits are a mirror. They reflect the beliefs you actually live by, not the ones you just speak about. But this is hard to hear because it forces you to take responsibility. It means you have to look in the mirror and admit that you've been loyal to comfort, not committed to transformation. It means you have to let go of the story you've been telling yourself, the one that makes you the victim of your circumstances, and realize that you are where you are because of what you repeatedly do. That hurts, but it also heals, because the moment you accept the truth is the moment you gain the power to change it. There was a man I knew, smart, full of ambition, always talking about how he wanted to start a business and leave a legacy. Every time we talked, he spoke like a visionary, but every day he stayed out late, spent recklessly, ignored his plans, and filled his time with comfort. He talked legacy, but he lived laziness, and for years nothing changed because deep down he believed comfort was safer than growth. Then one day life hit him hard. He lost everything he had been clinging to. It broke him. But it also awakened him. He said, I realized I didn't believe in my dream enough to live like it was real. So he changed quietly, slowly. He started saving, planning, waking up early, learning, executing. The habits came first. The fruit followed. And the man who used to talk about legacy, he's now living it. If you want to know what you really believe, look at what you repeatedly do. Look at how you spend your time, where your energy goes, what you prioritize. Your actions don't lie. If they're not aligned with your dream, then it's not really your dream, it's just your fantasy. And fantasies never produce fruit. But faith backed by discipline, that's how you build something eternal. So if you want to change your life, don't just change your words, change your habits, and your habits will rewrite your destiny. You don't need to flip your entire life upside down overnight. You don't need to become someone new in a day. That kind of pressure is what keeps most people stuck. They look at how far they have to go and it paralyzes them. But the truth is, transformation never comes from one giant leap. It comes from the small, consistent steps you take when no one's watching, the quiet decisions, the tiny sacrifices, the moments you say yes to growth and no to comfort over and over again. That's where the real power is. The secret isn't in doing everything. It's in doing something again and again until it becomes part of who you are. One small habit, if practiced consistently, can change the direction of your entire life. Read 10 pages a day. That's 3,650 pages a year. That's dozens of books. Wake up just 1 hour earlier. That's 365 extra hours in a year to build, to think, to grow. Cut just one bad spending habit. That could be thousands saved by year's end. It's not magic. It's math. And it works when you work it consistently. But here's what most people do. They get excited, they set 10 new habits, and then they crash in a week. Because motivation fades, excitement dies, but discipline, that's what keeps the engine running. You don't need to overhaul your whole life. You just need to make one good decision today, then another tomorrow, and another after that. That's the compound effect. That's how real momentum is born. There was a young man who had hit rock bottom, broke, overweight, depressed, completely lost. He was tired of living in cycles of regret, but every time he tried to change everything at once, he'd burn out. So one day, he picked just one thing. Wake up at 6 a.m. every day and go for a 20-minute walk. That was it. No gym membership, no diet overhaul, just a walk. He didn't feel like it the first few days, but he went anyway. He kept doing it, rain or shine, no excuses. Over time, that small walk gave him clarity. It gave him confidence. That one habit sparked another. He started drinking more water, then reading, then journaling, then saving money. Fast forward 2 years, he's healthy, running a small business, and mentoring others. Not because he changed everything overnight, but because he mastered one habit at a time and didn't quit. That's how legacies are built. Not in some dramatic moment of inspiration, but in the quiet, boring, beautiful repetition of good choices. One choice doesn't change your life, but it starts the process. It puts the first brick in the wall, and if you keep stacking bricks one by one day you'll look up and realize you built a fortress, not because you were special, but because you were faithful. So don't chase perfection, chase consistency. Do it small, do it often, do it when you're tired, do it when no one sees, because small habits practiced with discipline become the foundation of massive victories. If I followed you for just one day, watched how you spoke, what you do with your time, how you treated your body, how you handled distraction, how you responded to stress, I could predict the direction your life is headed, not because I'm a prophet, but because who you become is buried inside what you do daily. Your identity is shaped not by the big declarations you make in moments of hype, but by the ordinary routines you carry out when no one is watching. Your habits aren't just things you do, they're the blueprint of your becoming. Every day, you're either reinforcing your future or rehearsing your past. There's no middle ground. The problem is, most people are waiting for a breakthrough moment, a lucky break, a sudden miracle, an external change, while ignoring the quiet power of their own routines. But success doesn't shout, it whispers. It shows up when you choose discipline over distraction, when you choose to open the book instead of scrolling, when you choose to plan your day instead of wasting it. These choices seem small, but they are spiritual, they are soul shaping, and over time, they either train you to rise or train you to settle. Let me tell you about a man I once knew. He had all the talent in the world, charisma, intelligence, and a dream so big it lit up a room when he talked about it. But every morning he woke up late. Every night he scrolled until 2 a.m. He kept saying he was working on it, but days turned into months and months into years. His life didn't collapse, it just faded. Not because he didn't want more, but because his daily actions never lined up with his destiny. He kept saying he'd become a leader, but his routine was training him to be a follower of comfort. It wasn't his lack of potential that failed him, it was his lack of alignment. One day, something shifted. He said, if I keep living like this, I'm going to die with everything inside me. That one thought broke him. So he got quiet, got focused, started waking up early, reading scripture, journaling his thoughts, walking in the morning, setting clear goals, reviewing them every night. His life didn't change in a week, but after a few months, people started asking what happened. He had more peace, more clarity, more authority, but nothing dramatic had happened externally. He had just trained his mind and spirit daily. He changed not because of what he felt, but because of what he did. And that's the message. You don't become great when people start clapping for you. You become great when you keep choosing growth in silence. When your habits are aligned with your future, even if your present doesn't reflect it yet, because you're not just going through the motions, you're planting seeds for a harvest that only faith can see. Every day you have a choice: stay loyal to comfort or train for your calling. One path looks easy. The other rewrites your legacy. Choose well. Here's the truth. You don't need another miracle. You need a mirror. Look at yourself. Look honestly. Then make a decision. Who are you going to be from this day forward? Because nobody's coming to build your future for you. Your dreams aren't waiting. They're watching. Your family is watching. Your future self is waiting, hoping you'll do the hard thing today so they can live in the freedom tomorrow. Force yourself to develop good habits. Not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because your destiny is worth it. Wake up, show up, lock in, keep going. You're not waiting on motivation. Motivation is waiting on you.